Steven Seagal. Where to begin? I don't know why I like his movies so much. Part of me just likes the classic set of movies that came out in the late 80s and early 90s. The other side of me hates everything that has been released in the past 15 years. Sure, I do get a laugh here and there with the recent direct-to-video efforts, but most of it is just unwatchable and plain embarrassing. Yet, there was a time that you could compare the guy's movies to Stallone, Schwarzenegger, and Van Damme. I just want to trace where and how his movies went from being enjoyable action classics to what they are now. But before we can do that, let me talk a little bit about how I fell in love with Seagal's movies. I remember like it was yesterday. I was in high school. I would hang around and talk nothing but movies with my friends. Come to think of it, I still do that to this day. Anyway, one day I was walking out of school, I missed my bus, and had to walk home. No biggie. I didn't live that far away from home anyway. As I walked, I came across a video rental store that I had never walked into. I walked in, and they were beginning to phase out the VHS movies, all to be replaced with DVDs. I took advantage of the great deal, $2 a tape. I mean, mind you, this was 2002 and not everyone had a DVD player. So I saw a few Steven Seagal movies lying around. Movies like Under Siege 2, On Deadly Ground, Marked for Death. I had no clue why they were there. And I had no clue what they were about. But the covers and titles caught my attention. So I spent my school lunch money and bought home movies that I had no clue I would be rewatching to this day. First one I saw was Under Siege 2. And my reaction after watching it was this.
Oh my god! Wow! Oh my god!
Next day at school, I couldn't shut up about this goddamn movie, trying to convince everyone that they needed to watch it. No one did. But that didn't matter. I couldn't wait to get home and watch the next one. So I did, and I saw Marked for Death. And my reaction to that one was this. This would go on for most of high school, as I purposefully now would miss the bus to complete the Steven Seagal collection. If I couldn't find the movie, I would just wait until it played on TV and record it. To make it clear, I spent a lot of my high school years watching and studying his films when I should have been productive in school, but you know, that's for another video. So at least now you got an idea that it started in high school. Good. So now that you know that, let's talk about Seagal himself and the movies that he's made from 1988 all the way to 2019. Now, I'm not going to mention all of them because if I do, this will be a 2-hour and 20-minute video. And I've seen most of them, so
hold on to your butts,
because it's going to be a bumpy ride. Seagal burst into the screen in 1988 with Above the Law, an action movie like no other, where he plays Nico Toscani. He has a 6th-degree black belt in Aikido and family in the Mafia. I'm actually verbatim repeating what the trailer says.
Nico has a 6th-degree black belt in Aikido and family in the Mafia.
Anyway, this movie had a bit of a convoluted plot revolving the CIA in South America and high-level explosives. Seagal acts unemotional for the most part, with a few scenes here and there that actually have some sort of acting. But, you know, none of that matters because we're just here to see the action.
What a feeling, beings believing, pictures come alive, you can dance right through your life. Take your passion and make it happen. Pictures come alive, you can dance right through your life.
flawless victory.
Whatever Seagal was doing was working, and he kept it up for the following films. Movies like Hard to Kill, where he plays a man whose family is murdered, ends up in a coma for 7 years, wakes up, acts just as unemotional, but who cares? We get scenes like this.
You can talk about cha-cha, tango, waltz, the rumba. Señoras dance at the title. She jump up in the saddle, hold on to the bridle. Jump in the line, rock your body in time. Okay, I believe you, jump in the line. Rock your body in time. Rock your body, child. Jump in the line, rock your body in time. Somebody help me! Die, you bastard!
That's for my wife. Fuck you and die.
Then he comes up with another action movie where his family's almost murdered, but they're not. They're just marked for death. Hence the title of the movie. He goes on a killing spree, and we get scenes like this.
Push it to the limit. Walk along the razor's edge. Don't look down, just keep your head or you'll be finished. Open up the limit. Past the point of no return. You've reached the top, but still you gotta learn how to keep it. Hit the wheel and double mistakes. Got it wide open like a bat out of hell. You can crash the gates.
I hope they weren't triplets.
So far, so good. All the movies are action-packed, they're entertaining, so let's keep going. Out for Justice. Really good movie. Seagal's doing a weird Italian accent, but, we could accept it. And it doesn't matter because we get scenes like this.
You can tell the world you never was my girl. You can burn my clothes up when I'm gone. Or you can tell my arms go back into the farms. You can tell my feet to hit the floor. Or you can tell my eyes to watch it for my mind. It might be working, I don't need no more. But don't tell my heart, my achy breaky heart. I just don't think it understand. And if you tell my heart, my achy breaky heart, you might have blown up and killed this man.
That's for Bobby.
Then Seagal came out with what I can describe as the best movie in his filmography, and the best rip-off of Die Hard. Under Siege, playing Casey Ryback, a cook and former Navy SEAL who was on duty aboard the USS Missouri. Thing is, there's a group of terrorists that took over the ship. Hey, but no worries, Seagal is here to save the day, to give us classic scenes like this.
Someone's gonna get slapped tonight. Gotta be you. Gotta get whacked tonight. Gotta be you. Someone's gonna get slapped tonight from me. And it's gonna be you.
Keep the faith, Stranix.
So you can see why I enjoyed his movies. They just kept getting better and better. But then came On Deadly Ground, the first truly bad Seagal movie. A movie in which he plays a Native American. Let that sink in. A movie that tried too hard being about environmental issues. Seagal himself says, believe it or not, that this movie was ahead of his time, and that it should have been him, not Al Gore, who won that recognition.
I made that movie, I don't know how long ago. My wife could probably tell you wherever she is, but she's around here somewhere. But 20 years later, Al Gore makes the exact same movie and gets an Academy Award and a Nobel Peace Prize for the exact same movie.
Now I know what you're gonna ask. Did we got some good action scenes? Yeah, we got scenes like this.
Up, you know to go. No one has to begin lost. Want to take it in the guts. Murder! What a fucking shame! Murder! See the bitch to blame! Murder! This is fucking life! Fucking murderer!
And we also got weird scenes like this.
Are you a man?
Am I a man? Yeah, I'm a man. I got a big pair of balls right between my legs.
Did you use those to beat up on this little native man? We're gonna play a little game, the hand slap game. I miss, you get a shot. You miss, I get a shot.
I'm ready.
Okay. Gotta be quick.
20 years later, Al Gore makes the exact same movie and gets an Academy Award and a Nobel Peace Prize for the exact same movie. So I was a little ahead of my time there.
What does it take to change the essence of a man?
Any time to change.
I do too. I do too.
My thought at the time was, okay, so he had a misstep. I had already seen Under Siege 2, which I enjoyed very much, and it came after On Deadly Ground. Maybe the next movie would be good. Nope, this was the beginning of the end. The late 90s saw movies like Fire Down Below, The Glimmer Man, and The Patriot. All pretty lame movies that retread plots from his previous movies. Fire Down Below and The Patriot had similarities to On Deadly Ground. Instead of an oil rig polluting the air, we had canisters of toxic waste being dumped into a local town. The Patriot, the same thing. This was Seagal's first direct-to-video movie, by the way. And it's the same crap. It's a virus polluting the air. It's as if Seagal thought he was becoming a humanitarian around this era. And in fact, Seagal has gone through a lot of phases, which I'm going to do in another video. And Glimmer Man was another derivative action movie about two cops that don't work well together. Best thing about that movie is Seagal killing a group of people with a credit card. And an okay fight scene in a restaurant. But that's about it. Then came Exit Wounds, a comeback at the time, where he shares the screen with DMX. I can never remember the plot. It has something to do with t-shirts and drugs. All I know is that every time I watch it, I'm entertained. Plus, Seagal actually lost some weight for this movie. It also stars Eva Mendes, who did not enjoy shooting this movie.
One time I went to a movie, it was a terrible film, but I went in, and I had a small part in it, and they dubbed my voice.
What?
And it wasn't in a foreign language, it was an English film in English. I was told, and I swear, this was a note from the producer when I inquired after, that I didn't sound intelligent enough. I swear. And who they replaced, I'm like, then replace me with someone with like a proper British accent or something. They replaced me with some like very high pitched, like, you know.
Really?
That doesn't sound intelligent.
Well, that was awkward.
Yes, it was.
2 hours later.
Wanna go to the strip club?
From 2003 to 2019, three things have been consistent. Every Seagal movie is released direct-to-video, he has gotten fatter, like way fatter, and he uses skinny stunt doubles to hide how obese he is, along with a really long black trench coat that it doesn't help, he still looks fat. And the fourth, which I might add, is that he is always whispering and mumbling, so they have to use ADR to cover his lines.
Alligator, I see some people change in prison, but I don't think you do.
You got 10 minutes and get your white ass out of here, you hear me?
Uncle Sam needs us. What that means is, he got something sensitive that has to be done. And if we do it right, we're all free and a lot richer. And if we do it wrong, ain't nobody know nothing.
All right, listen up. We got new coordinates for the new landing zone close to the coast. And it's gonna be right about him.
Tell me. Why do I feel so strange?
There's some sick shit up in here, alligator. Yeah, I just hit country and got kind of busy, but you might want to give me a minute of your time. Oh, that's just terrible. I don't do things like that. What if he's not there?
Find my boys and bring him down here right away. I'm gonna have to brief everybody.
I'm a friend of a couple of your friends. I was wondering if we could have kind of a frank discussion for a moment.
Oh, Admiral Budge has got an EP-3 spy plane circling around the sky. Who do you think he's just picked up on his radar?
Now, I didn't want to do this, but let's go over quickly as possible all the turds that he's done since 2003. Here we go. The Foreigner, a movie I have seen more times than I can count, yet I have no clue what it's about. This shit makes no sense. Something about a package that everyone wants. It's like, oh, is trying to find out who wants this package. And there's also a really weird scene where this guy tells Seagal that he has to start pissing slow. I don't get it.
What do you think I'm doing?
Easy. Easy.
Next, Out for a Kill, Seagal plays a university professor. Yeah, I'm not even joking. His wife gets killed. Yeah, I know, it's the same plot as his other movies, and he goes out and gets revenge. And there's a terrible scene in the plane.
Hey, you're that archaeologist I flew back in China. I feel really bad about what happened to your wife.
How do you know what happened to my wife?
What the hell are you doing?
Do you think I'm crazy?
No, man!
Wrong answer! I am crazy!
You're crazy!
Now, you listen to me! Who hired you? I need some details!
I don't know, man! I don't know him!
On to the next movie, Out of Reach. Seagal adopts a little girl, she gets kidnapped, now we have a movie. The movie has some of the worst ADR, by the way.
Lewis, you're playing a horse game. You ain't nothing but a whore. Now you know what happens to whores, don't you now?
What?
Whores always get fucked, don't they?
You gonna fuck me, huh?
Into the Sun. Set in Japan, Seagal has to stop the Tongs and the Yakuza who are working together. There's some cool fight scenes. This one, for the most part, is alright, but I'm not sure if Seagal is really speaking Japanese or if he's just mumbling. Submerged, this movie makes less sense than The Foreigner. I'll just leave the only good moment in the movie. Today You Die. Seagal goes to the hood, he gets in trouble, goes to prison, makes friends with someone in prison, escapes, and kills the main bad guy. The end. Black Dawn, a sequel to The Foreigner, which makes more sense but is still pretty bad. A group of terrorists have a bomb, Seagal has to stop it. Mercenary for Justice. This one is bad, but it's enjoyable. Seagal promises to protect a friend's family, and the guy gets killed, and surprise, surprise, the family is kidnapped, and Seagal is forced to do this job where he has to free some jabroni and somewhere in South Africa in the prison, and if he doesn't do it, they'll kill the family. Shadow Man. I honestly can barely remember this movie. All I recall is Seagal kills one of the students who just wanted a lesson.
Sifu, I was very impressed with the way you broke the watermelon. Can you teach me? Can you give me a lesson?
He's a terrible teacher. Attack Force. This one's literally the worst one. Something to do about drugs killing people and superhuman abilities. Again, the worst ADR as well.
Well, Raina, here are your choices. Talk or die. I hope you do the right thing because enough people have died already. Where's Arun's base? Raina, do you hear me? I'm running out of patience.
You killed all of my best men. That wasn't nice. Now I'm gonna give you about 3 seconds. In 3 seconds, if you don't tell me, I'll kill you, just like you did to my men.
1, 2, 3.
Flight of Fury. A stealth plane is stolen. The only person who can bring it back, yep, you guessed it, Seagal. Urban Justice. Seagal goes back to the hood. His son gets killed. He goes on revenge. Same shit as always. Pistol Whip. Seagal has gambling problems, gets in trouble, kills people. Same shit. Kill Switch. Seagal breaks some guy's bones with a hammer. That's all I remember.
I think your arm's broken.
You just broke a rib. Ooh, there goes another one. That's right. Oh, you need her. Oh,
The Keeper. Also don't recall this one too much. Just remember that Seagal bitch slaps a guy.
So,
We got a problem.
brothers owe us some money. Do. What's the problem?
Against the Dark. Seagal fights zombies. It's awful. Just awful. Driven to Kill. Seagal plays a Russian. Yeah, he now lives in Russia. And he's trying to stop other Russian bad guys. That's about it. Born to Raise Hell. The same shit in every other Seagal movie. He has a dark past, kicks ass, blah 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 blah. Maximum Conviction. Seagal and Steve Austin are in prison and they have to kill people. Force of Executions. Killing more people, and this time he's the villain, kind of. And Danny Trejo's also in it, and the scenes with Trejo are way better than anything Seagal does in this movie. You know what? I'm gonna skip some of the other movies because everything from here on out just gets worse and worse. Last two I will mention are Code of Honor and Attrition. Code of Honor has Seagal in the movie for about 30 minutes tops. Most of the movie is Craig Sheffer hunting down Seagal, who's sort of this Punisher-esque kind of character. The movie's garbage. But the movie thinks it's clever, especially with the stupid twist ending where we find out that the guy who's hunting Seagal is actually one and the same person. It makes no fucking sense. Which leads us to his most recent movie, Attrition, a film that he says is the best he's done in 20 years.
Let me tell you about Attrition. Best movie I've done in over 20 years. It's a movie about honor. It's a movie about dedication. It's a movie about kung fu. It's a movie about respect. It's a movie about sacrifice.
No one can defeat him, just like in all the other movies. He also has a dark past, and he has weird dreams where he hears and sees a woman that he must rescue. She's a mystical girl, and she gets kidnapped by some evil guy who can't leave this lair. I mean, there's some cool action scenes involving other actors who can actually fight, but that's about it. Seagal's fighting in this movie is terrible. Now that I've gone over most of his movies, I hope you can see why I feel so disappointed. He went from doing pretty decent action movies to unwatchable nonsense. Even if he says things like this,
do you believe you're still as fast as you were even 10 years ago?
Maybe faster.
He's just a former shadow of himself. A man who once was fast in Aikido is now an embarrassment to watch. While I often do see myself watching some of his new movies, it's just me hoping that he'll go back to his glory days of before. But we gotta admit, that's long gone. Actors who truly care, who hone their craft, are always improving. And those are the ones that care about the fans, who care about producing and releasing quality films. Seagal isn't one of those people. So what's the point I like to make with this video? I don't know. Just that teenager who missed the bus, went into that video store, and fell in love with those movies, is now an adult who just doesn't want to continue watching anything else that he releases. I feel like the person who is hoping for a friend to change their way and improve, but keeps doing the same BS. And that's what Seagal is. Seagal is a person who's never going to change. So with that said, Seagal, goodbye. I waited patiently, hoping that you would make better movies. That you would actually take feedback from your fans. That you would see that your movies are not the same anymore. The only thing that's the same is the shitty plot lines. And it's evident that you will never go back to your glory days. And it's a shame, because other action stars are always improving and changing and bettering their craft. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And let me know if you, like me, feel this way about Seagal's movies. And if there's any other action star from the same era that you can compare to Seagal, let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about that particular action star. Anyway guys, until next time.
I won't wake up in the morning, I believe I'll dust my broom. Well, I'll wake up in the morning, I believe I'll dust my broom.
You got 10 minutes and get your white ass out of here, you hear me?